Okay, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. And we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. So if everyone would stand with me, right back here in the corner. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. So welcome everyone to the meeting. First on the agenda tonight, it's been requested by Miss Amanda, is it Gross? To speak to the board tonight. So we'll turn the floor over to her so she can share her comments.
Well, thank you. Actually, I didn't know how much time I was going to have, so I just wrote something. All right, so first I just want to thank everybody for allowing me to come in and speak. You said my name is Amanda Gross. Not only am I the parent of 2 Marion County Public School students, but my third son also serves our country in the United States Marine Corps. So I'm definitely not new to the public school system. Today I wanted to discuss a few things that I am concerned with our young students and our community. The community guidelines state that the temperature checks are required upon entering school. My only request and suggestion about this requirement is that we check temperatures on the wrist and not on the forehead. I gained new perspective of this when my own temperature was taken from my forehead when attending middle school orientation last week. I believe it is psychologically conditioning and grooming our children to be desensitized by an object appearing to resemble a gun in their face. If they ever find themselves in a real life situation with a gun to their head, they would think that it was normal, and that is certainly not normal. You get the same exact reading from the wrist as you do from the forehead. Another thing that I'd like to mention is if no one is experiencing any symptoms of COVID-19, then we should allow our children to unmask in school. Temperature checks are already required, and it serves no one to wear a mask if they are healthy. That includes not forcing our children to use hand sanitizer multiple times throughout the day because 1, they are not sick, and 2, this only weakens their immune systems. Our children need microbes, they need germs. That's what builds their immune system. The final thing that I'd like to touch on is this new curriculum that's being rolled out all over the country. Indoctrination started on college and university campuses are now making their way to our public school system. There should be absolutely no academic curriculum coercing any type of political agendas or any curriculums that shape the moral compass of our children. We want to promote individualism. We want to encourage critical thinking and free thinking. There is this hateful ideology about our country that's spreading like wildfire, and it is destructive. It is not the responsibility of the school system to interpret morals. That is the responsibility of us parents. There have been reports from parents and teachers from all over the country sharing some curriculum that I find it very biased. Biased in the sense that criminals are made to look like martyrs and capitalism is made to look evil. There is enough division in the world. Division doesn't belong anywhere, especially in our schools. Our young people have the most susceptible minds, and teaching them this curriculum can be dangerous. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is the superintendent's report. I'll turn it over to Ms. Slauson.
Thank you. I'll start out with leadership. I just want to give a big shout out to our principals and our school leadership teams for the work that they have completed so far in a very non-traditional start to the school year. Welcome Miss Holly Cox as our new principal for the alternative school and our Marvel Academy. We have been asked to present at a conference that we've actually been a part of several years, and it will be a virtual conference this year. So we will be participating in that. We will record a video and upload that and be a part of that conference. They are definitely a spearhead to our portrait of a graduate that you can see back on the wall here, and all the things that we believe that help a child become successful after high school. We are also continuing our work with the Kentucky Innovation Leadership Network. If you'll remember last year, we had plans where schools from all over the state were going to come to visit us, and that we had an opportunity to visit with them. So we're very happy to be a part of this network again. Under teaching and learning, we did start a new type of learning, and that was distance learning for all students on August the 26th. And I want to give a really big shout out to our teachers who worked extremely hard in a situation that is brand new to all of us. We're working hard to provide real-time distance learning, but we're also working with our students without internet. We are providing jump drives to those students, and also working with Google offline so that they can get online and then upload with those, continuing to learn about our new resources and ways to create lessons with our teachers. Under high expectations, our 6 big dreams, which is learning begins at birth, is our very first one. Very proud of our school board and our district that we support the Dolly Parton Imagination Foundation. There was a point in time that we had a grant for those with our preschool. That grant is no longer available, so our Marion County Board of Education has placed this in the budget, and currently 715 children ages 0 to 5 receive a book in the mail every single month. And we actually have 517 kiddos that have graduated. So it's kind of nice to see that you're already planting that seed that you're graduating from getting a book, even if you're 5 years old, because that's a very important piece of being that next generation. Also included our preschool enrollment for all of our kiddos. We want them to be kindergarten ready. And so you can see that when we talk about preschool enrollment, we don't just talk about our schools, but we also include our community partners, Cornerstone, Kids Place, Loretta Child Care, and St. A. You can see that in Marion County, we have 108 4-year-olds currently enrolled and 51 3-year-old students enrolled. So you're looking right now at about 159 kids, and we could have more of those enrolled as we go. Some of our children that are coming to our school will actually participate virtually during the distance learning, and some will actually participate in person. Market, Connect, and Communicate. We are working on our new website, and with that will come a new app, and that app will be able to push things out to parents, just like we get things pushed out with other social media outlets. And we do have our new call system up and running, which is working with our data system. And we are also able to do phone, text, and mass emails. With our technology, Mr. Lyons made sure he reminded me today that we are a fully one-to-one district, and all of our students, kindergarten through 12th grade, have a device, and we want to make sure that we send that home every day, because we never know what may come. We can have, I know we're dealing with a pandemic, but we also have weather to think about as well. So we want to make sure that our kiddos have that device and a charger every single day. We do have new Chromebooks ordered to continue to replenish, but those are kind of held up. We've got to remember that everybody around the world is seeking out devices. And so those are ordered and they are on their way, but all of our kids do have those. Next Generation Marion County, we're very proud of the fact that we have student ambassadors that tell our story. Typically, they are here and they lead us in the pledge and tell us about what's going on at Marion County High School. So hopefully at our next board meeting, we'll have those kiddos here to do that with us. We have selected some new ambassadors. As you can imagine, we have seniors that graduate, and then we go through a pretty intensive interview process for those children. We also have interviews planned for teen leadership. It's very similar to Leadership Lebanon, and those teen leaders go across our county and learn about what's going on. So they visit the jail, they visit business and industry, farming, and different things like that. Thankful for Miss Erin Pittman, who works on that, and also Miss Lori Followell. Our Smile Club will be up and running in September. They're working on Smile September as a way to address suicide prevention for this entire month, which is something that we're all very passionate about, and we want to make sure that kids are academically healthy, physically healthy, and also mentally healthy. Graduating all students success ready. Like I said, social emotional is something we've been working on now in our district for 2.5 years. Senate Bill 1 didn't have to be passed. That was something that was important to us. And we actually have a social emotional learning team, as well as something that we use as, we have a web page that's out for that. And all of our students will have a time during the day that's dedicated to talking about emotions and learning different ways to cope. Again, I'm going to refer back to our portrait of a graduate when we think about critical thinking skills and collaboration. It's very important for our students to learn how to interact and how do you handle different kinds of situations. And while content is very important, the most important thing is what do you do with that content and how do you work together as a team. That's what the world looks like today. And our nightway groups are a very important part of what we're doing at the secondary level. Under communication, very pleased with the fact that we've been delivering meals, even though we've had distance learning. And so parents could sign up, pick up their meals, and that will continue on Thursday, and it will continue for our distant learners. So families are going to determine if they feel safe coming back to in-person instruction, and if they do not choose to come back, there will be an opportunity for them to receive their breakfast and their lunch at no cost once a week. So I bring that up in that September the 8th will be our first day in person for our students, and then distance learning for preschool will actually start on September the 8th, and then in person for preschool will be September the 21st. And again, families have the option to select in-person or distant learning. Our bus routes have been updated. Please see our webpage. You can always also call our bus garage. Our bus drivers have been out and about. I was out in the community and someone said, I see the buses running. I said, well, our bus drivers always run their routes. They make sure there's no limbs down, make sure their turnabouts are cleared and ready to go. A lot of times we have folks that actually give us the opportunity to use part of their maybe driveway or turn around to get a bus turned around, so we want to check on that. Remind our families that if you are sending your children back, that there is a health assurance form just to say if your child has a temperature or they're showing certain symptoms, don't send them to school. And that's something that we would do anyway if there's a stomach bug going around or it's flu season or strep throat or things like that. And amazingly enough, we have completed 7 days of instruction. It's already September. We have 159 days of teaching and learning with our children and our staff and our families. So, any questions? And I am wearing my mask while I talk because that's one of the things that we are asking our staff and our students to do. And so like Mr. Wines and I talked about, if we're going to ask our staff and our children to do this, I think it's important for us to model. So.
I do have a question.
Okay.
Referring to preschool,
Yes.
we had talked earlier about getting the committee back together and let them review on children starting earlier than the original thought was. How did that go? And does it have to be brought before the board in order for approval?
Are you talking about preschool or kindergarten?
I think it's preschool.
Preschool, the earliest we can start is 3.
Okay.
And our 3-year-olds must qualify for a disability. So typically a lot of our children qualify for speech, and they come in and they're tested on that. And then our 4-year-olds is actually a poverty, 200% at the poverty level and or a disability.
And what about kindergarten? What age does it start out?
It actually is 5, but you must turn 5 before August the 1st. And the board actually updated their policy last in August to look at that early entry. So the committee is actually made of folks that's in the district, and we actually added our gifted and talented coordinator to that committee, so that there's a number of people looking at different pieces of information to determine if a child entering kindergarten, in the event that their birthday is after August the 1st, are they, what's the chances they're going to be successful? The last thing we want to do is start a child early and not have some supporting data that we believe that they are ready.
Is that something that we would approve as a board overall when they make the decision to start children earlier, or?
Actually, the committee makes that recommendation, and then it is a board agenda item, and you would not know who the child is. It is based on a number.
Okay.
A student ID number.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions for Ms. Slauson?
I just want to give the staff here immense kudos. I know that leading up to this school year, we thought last year was the year to remember, and it looks like it's probably going to be this year instead. I know that you all have had to pivot multiple times already, and we've only got 7 days of instruction under our belts. So commend everybody in the central office, all of the members of the leadership team, the principals, teachers, custodians, bus drivers. All of you all continue to blow me away and knock things out of the park. So I know that when I send my children to school on Tuesday, that I am thrilled, and I know that they are in good hands.
Thank you. I know we'll appreciate it.
Yeah, to kind of piggyback on that comment, I know it's been said before, but, I'm really thankful that you and previous boards had the foresight to make technology a major initiative and a priority, and we got Chromebooks in the hands of all these students, and because I can't imagine what a overwhelming task it would be to try to deliver services virtually if they didn't already have that Chromebook. So kudos to you and your staff, and like I said, previous boards that made that a priority and got us ahead of the game on that.
Thank you all.
Okay, anything else from Ms. Schlosser? Questions? We'll move to the next item, which is the finance report. Scott Spalding.
So finance report a little bit different this month. We're still working on closing out the prior fiscal year and opening up this fiscal year. And the next step, that next fiscal year is when you all approving the contract tonight. Then we'll set the final budget later this month. So just kind of what we've been working on. We're working with the auditors. They've been in the district for a little over a week or so. And I like to thank the ladies in the office who have tremendously returned all the requests and pulling documents. It's very time consuming. It's a good process. It's been a learning curve for myself to learn, but I can see why it takes a lot of time to go through all that. The newspaper report, we have to report to vendors, a list and stuff like that. So we've been working on all that documentation from last year. The tax hearing that you all did a while ago, as well as talking about going back to school. We've been pretty busy with the CARES funds that we have been provided to provide some PPE and try to get those additional technology devices. So that's been a new above and beyond. So again, I feel confident in what we're doing here and going back to school next week as well. So we'll get together. The next one, we'll give you all July's numbers, and then we'll do October numbers. In October, we'll get all these numbers working close. And now the fiscal year in those 2 months. Any questions about those items?
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Spalding. Okay, we'll move on to item 4A. I need a motion for 4A.
I'll make a motion to consider approval of kindergarten early enrollment for student identified as 001-021.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay, Ms. Truitt abstains. Motion passes 4-0. Need a motion for 4B.
Make a motion to consider approval of policy update for policy number 0711 meal charges.
Second?
Any questions or comments? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Goes on to 5A. Need a motion for 5A.
I
I make a motion, we set the 2021 tax rate at 59.2, being the same rate as last year.
I second.
Any questions or comments on that? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Need a motion for 5B.
I make a motion to consider approval of revised job description for ELL, attachment number 2.
Second?
Questions or comments?
Could you say what ELL is so everybody?
Yes, I'm sorry, we should spell that out. That is our English language learner. In previous years, it was called English as a second language. So it's just to update to match up what the expectations are at the state level. Ms. Murphy was kind enough to take care of that, because that's sort of one of our new jobs.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Need a motion for 5C.
Go ahead.
Make a motion, we consider approval of revised job description for migrant attachment 3.
Second. Questions or comments? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Need a motion for 5D.
Make a motion to consider approval of pay application number 7 to Omni Commercial LLC in the amount of $116,056.80 for work performed at the Marion County Middle School addition and renovation project, BG number 19-363.
I'll second.
Questions or comments?
So how are we looking on the status?
Great. They've
Still
really had
here.
a lot of leeway the last couple weeks. Notified them yesterday morning early that they need to get a few things cleaned up, and they wouldn't anticipate the students Tuesday. So they're focused on getting all that taken care of, make sure it's safe for our students. Got all the geothermal well filled in, we're almost dried in. They're really, they focused on getting some stuff done later in the project before students got there, like when the utilities aren't over. It's not actually hooked up yet, but that way we're not disturbing that. So, so far, I feel I'm being on schedule, so.
Do we anticipate any disturbances to classroom instruction while?
No, and if we do, we'll move night shift. That's part of the contract, and it being, there's certain things we'll move after school hours.
Any other questions? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Need a motion for 5E.
I make a motion to consider approval of the recommendation of district facility plan by local planning committee.
I'll second. Any questions or comments? I think we probably all said our piece at the last meeting. Got all our questions answered Tuesday night, hopefully from the architect, so. As I'm not anticipating a unanimous vote, we should probably do a roll call vote. So I'll start, and my vote would be a yes. Ms. Downs,
Yes.
Ms. Truitt,
No.
Mr. Eubank,
No.
Mr. Ford.
No.
Okay, motion fails. So therefore, we would not need to approve, there's no need for 5F. So we'll move to item 6, need a motion for item 6A through G.
Make a motion, we consider approval of student learning and support consent items 6A through G.
Second.
Any questions or comments on any of those?
Will Fowler's here, talk about his grant, his donation.
Okay, sure. Item 6G, donation from Mr. Will Fowler. He's here to share with us this project.
On the consent item, this is Mr. Will Fowler. He has wants to make a donation to the board and kind of talk to you about what he's done, and it's down on the consent item. So, Mr. Fowler.
You can come ahead and move.
All right. So over the past few years.
It's kind of a weird side.
So over the past few years, I've raised $1,000 buying and selling shoes to friends and online, and I've been saving it, wondering what I could do with it. And so I thought nowadays, with all the negativity going on, we need something positive that everybody can get behind and really support. And so I was inspired by my experiences at LES and seeing the impacts of poverty and kids from low-income families who, when school would start back for the new year, be wearing the same shoes and inadequate shoes when everybody else had new ones. And they were very disappointed, and because they wanted new shoes. And this also touched me by visiting my great-grandma, who is a resident at the village of Lebanon, and seeing her, and even just me walking through there, the other residents who I had no relation to were excited just to talk to me and have human interaction. And so I decided that I reached out and decided that I'd like to donate $1,000 to the school system to get shoes for kids who need it. And we also made, 150 cards for different nursing homes, assisted living facilities to give to them since we can't visit in person. And then once a visitation in person is allowed, I would like to set up things to go there and just talk to them, hang out, maybe do even some singing or stuff like that to just brighten their days.
Thank you.
You don't have to face the camera.
Sit down and we'll.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Will, that's awesome. Appreciate that.
That's amazing. How old are you?
I'm 18.
Keep it up.
You bet. Okay, all in favor of the consent item, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Item 7, acknowledgement of personnel actions, so acknowledged. Need a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.